Hey, it's Quadix here. I'm here with the next part of what it Deku had the Sharingan. Get this to 300 likes and I'll upload the next part. Check out my other quality what ifs. The links to playlists of all the what ifs I've done will be in the description. Check out the community tab. I use that for polls to select what videos I do and more. Please like, comment, Q, or any other comments you may have, like what if suggestions, anime suggestions, and more. Make sure you're subscribed and let's get into it. By the way, I respond to all comments, so make sure you comment. The next day, Izuku woke up early and found Kuragane waiting for him with his katana outside. He seemed to be exercising while doing some breathing control exercises. "Good morning, Midoriya. I hope you slept well last night," the older man said, to which Izuku nodded. "Good, now come with me," he said as he motioned for Izuku to follow him. Izuku followed him as they were traveling upway a mountain. Part way though, as Izuku was struggling to breathe a little, Kuragane stopped. "You must go back to the hut by dawn," Kuragane simply stated as he vanished in the fog. "Nani?" Izuku yelled as he was quite shocked by the current events. "So all this time I was training with a ghost? Scary," he added as he was shivering at the thought that his sensei was a ghost. "Man, this can't be real. It's so hard to breathe, and my vision is narrow because of the fog," Izuku said until he realized something and facepalmed. "I could use my Sharingan. How could I have forgotten about that? Dang it, I'm so dumb," he said as he activated his Sharingan. He started making his way down the mountain, but suddenly saw a log coming towards his way. While he managed to barely avoid it. "What is this?" he said in confusion before getting hit in his face by some pebbles. "Ow! I see. So that's how it's gonna be. I'll make it down as fast as I can, and I'll dodge everything with my Sharingan," Izuku said as he started to run. On his way down, he discovered that he had to evade more traps than he thought. He almost got hit by knives, but was luckily able to catch the one that almost stabbed him. He had to admit he would have never thought that his training would go this way. He went on for an hour until he came back. Sensei? I made it back," Izuku said as he was trying to catch his breath. "You cheated. You used your quirk, didn't you?" Kuragane questioned the younger boy. "How did you..." Izuku was going to ask about how he knew about his quirk, but he figured that Mori probably told him. "Was I not allowed to do that?" Izuku changed his question. "Yes, using your quirk defeats the purpose of this training," Kuragane replied. "You have to be kidding me, Sensei. I barely made it out alive using my quirk," Izuku exclaimed. "I figured out that you'd use your quirk, so I made things harder for you. But what if I didn't use my quirk and the knife hit me?" Izuku asked as he questioned his sensei's sanity. Was he a psychopath who wanted to kill him or something? "The knives are made out of plastic. They're not even sharp," the man replied simply. Izuku was relieved that his sensei wasn't at least a psychopath who was trying to kill him, but he didn't let the ghost part get out of his head until the man spoke again. "Now go back there and redo the exercise, this time without your quirk," the man said as Izuku fell on his back. "Mom, I'm sorry. I didn't make it out alive," Izuku simply said. "Cut the slack and get going. My advice is that you should concentrate on your breathing, focus, and feel the air around you, and use other senses than your vision. I know that your quirk enhances your vision, but what would happen if in a circumstance where you can't use your eyes?" the old man said. "I see. So this exercise purpose is to cover for my weakness," Izuku said as he could only agree with his sensei. He then got up and went back the mountain. "Midoriya, I know that this training might be too much on you, but if you're going to be the greatest hero, the next symbol of peace, then you should become a strong hero, capable of protecting others and himself." "Alright, let's do this again," Izuku said as he was making his way down, this time without his Sharingan. And once again, the fog was thick as hell. However, it wasn't long before Izuku fell into a hole. "Ow! Dang it, I hurt my arm," he said as he got up, and after a few steps, he got smacked by a log, then tackled by a rope and fell on the ground. This is not good. Remember, Izuku, concentrate, breathe, and use your other senses, he said to himself as he tried to focus on his other senses as his breath. There, he said, as he dodged some pebbles. I did it! I was finally able to do it! He cheered as he started to make his way down the mountain, dodging the traps. Days went by, and each day, Karagane's training intensity level would go further and further. At noon, he would make Izuku go and meditate under the waterfall while doing breathing exercises. On his Naruto shit, let's go! And in the evening, he would make Izuku climb the cliff. On his Kakashi shit, let's go! He had Izuku doing more and more things, increasing the difficulty. He even made Izuku carry a heavy katana on his back now, while Izuku would adapt to his best. Yes, before Izuku would probably hold a weapon, he would forge him into a weapon. And so it was only a few days before Izuku's training ended. 1 month later, Izuku was wearing the blindfold, sitting on the wooden floor outside in the garden. There was a sound of dripping water, but Izuku was concentrating and properly breathing. And suddenly, Karagane tried to smack Izuku's head with the wooden staff, only for Izuku to block the attack with his staff, which made the older man smile. Good job, Midoriya. You managed to finish my training. You didn't only master how to use the staff, but you learned how to use my many other weapons too. You have grown in many ways since you started your journey. On behalf of Daisuke and Mori, we are really proud of you. I'm sure you'll get into UA, but don't forget that true powers comes from protecting others. I won't forget, Karagane sensei, and thank you for training, Izuku said as he stood up and bowed to his sensei before leaving the dojo. And just like that, Izuku finally completed his training under the 3 dojo, but he still had one more thing. A beach to clear. The next day, young Midoriya, I see you completed your training under the 3 dojos. You've really came a long way, but don't relax now cause there are only 1 month left until the UA entrance exam, All Might said. Yes sir, All Might, I want to ask something. Can I return to the Muay Thai dojo? It was the first dojo. My skills at Taekwondo and using, weapons are above average by a good level, but my Thai skills are not strong enough. I didn't get to copy a lot of the techniques bandit because my body was weak. I know that the aim to pass American Dream doesn't include this idea so that I can focus on cleaning the beach and not overworking myself, but I feel that I need it. All Might paused for a second before replying. Very well, but you'll have 2 weeks. I can't give you more than that. Thank you, All Might. Later that night, Izuku was training in his room, lifting some weights, before grabbing his phone and calling Ojiro. Hello, Ojiro. It's me, Izuku. Midoriya? How's it been, man? How's your training going? Pretty good so far. I'm actually going back to the Kendo Sensei dojo to work on my Muay Thai. I don't know how to pronounce it. Let me know if you know in the comment section. That's great. It would be a good opportunity to spar with each other before the exams. Yeah, how's Itsuka, by the way? She came a couple of times since you left to spar with me, but she's been absent for like 4 months now. Kendo Sensei said that she's training for some big event she had. Man, I wish I got her number to wish her good luck at least. Yeah, as well as flirting with her. What? No. Itsuka is just a friend, Izuku said as he blushed. Well, anyways, see you tomorrow, man, Ojiro said before ending the call. The next day, Izuku went back to the dojo and was happy that Ojiro was the strongest disciple now. And Ojiro was happy that Izuku came back. He was content with Izuku called him. He wanted to spar against him and see how much he got better. For the next 2 weeks, the two of them proceeded to spar. Ojiro had the upper hand as he practiced his Muay Thai techniques for the last 6 months, so he had more experience, while Izuku had to learn 3 different fighting styles. He couldn't use Taekwondo in Muay Thai dojo, as it would be disrespectful to Daisuke. But like always, with each day, Izuku got stronger and stronger. In fact, he became the second strongest after those 2 weeks. 2 weeks before the exam. Kendo Sensei, please allow Izuku to use his taekwondo techniques. I want to fight him when he's at his full power to test him myself, Ojiro asked as he bowed in respect to his sensei. Very well, I'll allow it. I understand your drive, as I have once been in your place, Daisuke said. Let's see how much stronger did you get in those 6 months, Izuku Midoriya. Are you ready, Ojiro? Cause today, I'll be going all out, Izuku stated. Ready as you are. Today we'll see who's the strongest between us. Ojiro rushed at Izuku trying to land a punch, but Izuku was swift on his feet and blocked his punch with his right leg, much to Ojiro and Daisuke's surprise. He's moving exactly like Mori, Daisuke thought. Izuku then spun in the air and kicked Ojiro in his side, but Ojiro quickly blocked it with his hand. The two of them smirked before starting to hit each other with punches and kicks, until Ojiro landed an uppercut. Ojiro then started to do his new combo. My Tai first stance, White Tiger, Ojiro shouted as he punched Izuku in his chest. My Tai second stance, Black Snake, Ojiro said as he kicked Izuku in his ribs. My Tai third stance, Yellow Dragon, Ojiro finally yelled as he jumped and punched Izuku with a strong fist in his face, which made Izuku fall on the ground. Izuku proceeded to stand up, ignoring the pain he was feeling. He had to admit, he wasn't expecting this kind of special move from Ojiro. That special move was really amazing, Ojiro. I thought I was done for when you landed the last punch, Izuku said while panting. You really got stronger, Midoriya, but it seems like I have the upper hand here, Ojiro said as he was smirking and panting as well. I have to say, you really trained hard those 6 months, that's for sure, but you're underestimating me, Izuku replied. Ojiro then rushed with a roundhouse kick that Izuku just dodged by ducking beneath his leg. Flexible and sharp attacks, just like Mori-sensei taught me, Izuku thought before elbowing Ojiro in his chest. This is the end, Ojiro, Izuku shouted as he took a different stance. Triple kick, Izuku yelled as he performed his new finisher. The combines his Mai Tai Jutsu and Taekwondo skills. He basically starts with a jump, then kicks his opponent's side at super speed, followed by a kick to his opponent's head, stunning them as he's going up, and finally, before landing on his feet, a super kick to the chest, making them fly a couple of meters. And just like that, Ojiro was knocked away, unable to fight anymore. Good job, you two. Both of you definitely improved so much during those 10 months. Ojiro, you want something too, since this was a good experience for you, as you fought against a different fighting style, Daisuke said as he applauded both of them. Midoriya, you really became much stronger. That last attack really hurts. I'm sure you'll be the #1 applicant to UA, Ojiro exclaimed, praising his friend. You too, Ojiro. I was surprised by your performance without using your tail. You showed me today that the result of your hard work, and I'm sure we'll both make it to UA. 2 weeks later, All Might had just arrived at the Dogaba beach when he heard this mighty roar. He immediately rushed to Izuku, shirtless and yelling a battle cry, which pumped him to go into his muscle form. Oh my goodness, he really did it! He cleaned the whole beach in 10 months! I can't believe this! You really did it, young man! All Might cheered as he stared at Izuku in amazement. Izuku then started to fall, but All Might was able to catch him before he hits the ground. All Might, I did it! I cleaned the whole beach! Izuku said with a tired voice, while All Might helped him to stand on his feet. Young Midoriya, congratulations! You finally finished your training and you're now ready to inherit One for All Might said with a smile. Tears began forming in Izuku's eyes before he said, I feel like I've been blessed. No, young Midoriya, this is the result of your harsh training. There's a great difference between people who are born with silver spoons in their mouth and people like you who had nothing but hard work to achieve their goals. And today, my boy, is your graduation ceremony, All Might said, looking at Izuku, who was happy and smiling. He then showed Izuku his picture of himself when they first met and how frail and weak he was, showing how far he has come. Young Midoriya, you're worthy of my power. When I first met you, you had the heart of a true hero, but now you will have the power of a true hero, All Might said with pride before he snatched a piece of his hair. Now, eat this! Izuku had now a shocking expression plastered on his face, and said only one word. Eh? Should I continue? The last part was short, so I'll give you guys a little bit. Yeah. Eat this. Eh? To inherit One For All, you have to ingest my DNA. And well, this is the least disgusting way I could think of you for ingesting my DNA. All Might said, clearly trying as hard not to laugh. He has been looking forward to this moment ever since he was looking for a successor. Izuku looked nervously and disgusted at the piece of hair before taking it and swallowing it. He ain't no quitter. He then started to cough when he he felt it in his throat and had to drink an entire water bottle before sitting down and letting out a sigh. So, do I have One For All now? Izuku asked, clearly still disgusted from the fact he just ate a piece of hair. Not yet, young Midoriya. It should take around 2 to 3 hours for your body to digest it. Once it's done, you will have One For All. I see. Then I won't be able to test it until the exam. Could you tell me how to use it? Izuku questioned. He was wondering how to use his new quirk. All Might then explained to Izuku how to use One For All and warned him about the backlash of using One For All the first time. Izuku then went back to his house, took a shower and changed his clothes and set off to UA. Izuku Midoriya was now standing in front of UA school, looking different from the first time he came here. He was now standing at 5.9 feet. I don't think that's how it works. But whatever. With a body that will make even a professional swimmer jealous. His muscles refined and his face was no longer the face of the child who he was a year ago, but the face of a determined young man. He had the body for the perfect balance between strength and agility. Get the heck out of my way, you damn nerd, Bakugo growled. Izuku only sighed and stepped away. It's true that he was a lot more confident than last year and was no longer afraid of Bakugo. But this doesn't mean that Izuku was still nervous from Bakugo's violent attitude and preferred to keep his distance from the explosion boy. He didn't really want to deal with him right now. Some things just never change, huh, Kachan? Izuku said in his mind. But I'm not the frail boy I once was. I have to remember all the hard work I put in my training and all the things All Might did for me. Not to mention that I am now his successor. Izuku, though, thought as he began to walk, but then he accidentally tripped on his own feet. This is it. Izuku closed his eyes and waited to feel the pain coming from his face hitting the pavement, but for some reason it never came. Confused by this, he opened his eyes, only to see that he was floating off the ground. Are you okay? Izuku heard a sweet and high-pitched voice beside him. He tried to look at the person who owned this voice, but he was stuck in mid-air, moving his arms as he tried to regain his balance. She then grabbed his arms and pulled him, before he felt the gravity returning to his body again. I stopped you with my quirk. I'm sorry I didn't ask first, but I figured you wouldn't mind me catching you. I think it would have been a bad luck if you had fallen. Izuku just kept looking at the girl with a blush on his cheek. But if you pass out again, I will... It's fine, it's just a story. She was a normal weighted girl with big round brown eyes. What, you calling her fat? No. Shoulder length brown hair and fair skin. She also had 2 permanent pink blushes marked on her cheeks. Aren't you nervous? She asked. Izuku then began stuttering until the girl interrupted him. Let's do our best today. See ya, she said before heading to the building. I talked to a girl for a second time. Izuku thought with a blush on his cheek. It didn't matter if Izuku just got a major confidence boost from his training in the dojo, which was one of the reasons All Might wanted his successor to train in different dojos. But Izuku was still shy with girls, especially if the girl in front of him was as cute as the one he just saw. Izuku then felt a hand grabbing on his shoulder, so he turned around and saw Ojiro. Hey, Ojiro, are you ready for the entrance exam? Izuku asked his friend. Ready as you are. And just so you know, I don't intend to fall behind you. The other teen replied, determined to do his best. Well, you have to do your best, cause I'm aiming. No, a lot of people are aiming high to be the #1 applicant to UA, Izuku exclaimed as he thought about Bakugo. The two rivals then walk to the building together, each one of them telling the other about his training journey until they split up. Okay guys, I'm gonna end it here. I hope you've enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next part. Bye.
Making myself easy.